The smartest people you know are quietly vanishing. Not from the world, from your group chats, from your weekend plans, from the version of themselves that used to reply fast and show up easy. Here's what nobody tells you about that disappearance. It isn't sadness, and it isn't a character flaw. It's a coping mechanism. And by the end of this, you'll understand exactly what's happening, whether it's you or someone close to you who's slowly gone quiet. Here are 6 reasons this happens, and the last one is the one that changes how you see all the others. Number 1, they're tired of performing fine. For a lot of intelligent, self-aware people, socializing isn't just talking, it's managing, softening opinions, translating thoughts into small talk, reading the room before you're even allowed to speak. Psychologists sometimes describe this as a kind of masking, the same mechanism behind a lot of social anxiety, where the exhausting part isn't the conversation itself, it's the editing that happens before a single word comes out. Over time, that editing becomes a background app that never closes, so they stop opening the app. Keep that in mind because it's the seed of almost everything that follows. Number 2, shallow talk starts to feel like static. Most people fill silence with small talk, and it relaxes them. Weather, weekend plans, logistics. For a sharper mind, that same talk starts to feel like noise instead of connection. The brain is wired to search for meaning, and when a conversation doesn't offer any, it starts saving energy instead of spending it. Watch for this one in yourself. It's usually the first sign, long before anyone notices you've gone quiet. Number 3, they've been burned by being too much. Have you ever shared something you were excited about and watched someone's eyes glaze over? A lot of intelligent people learn early that their depth reads to others as intensity, so they start pre-editing themselves, and eventually, editing gets exhausting too, so they just stop showing up instead. This isn't arrogance, it's self-protection wearing the costume of distance. Save this one because it explains why withdrawal so often gets mistaken for coldness. Number 4, they quietly become everyone's free advice line. People come to them with problems, but rarely just to hang out. Somewhere along the way, they got cast as the fixer, the listener, the one with answers, and the relationship quietly turned one-directional. Eventually, the imbalance gets heavy enough that stepping back stops feeling like abandoning people and starts feeling like finally putting the clipboard down. Number 5, small circles start to matter more than big ones. Most people measure connection by how many names are in the group chat. A sharper mind trades 10 shallow friendships for 2 or 3 real ones, not out of arrogance, because depth takes attention, and attention is limited. Growing one relationship almost always means shrinking 10 others. This is the point where it starts looking like avoidance from the outside. It isn't, it's allocation. Number 6, the filter, not the disappearance. Here's the one that ties every other point together. It's easy to assume that pulling away means giving up on people entirely. But what's actually happening is quieter than that. A filter is forming, one that only lets in the relationships that add something back. And that filter applies to family, coworkers, even the oldest friendships, without exception. It's the same instinct that protects any limited resource, whether that's time, energy, or attention. This isn't cruelty, and it isn't a breakdown. It's protection. And it's the real reason behind every point before this one. So, shallow talk drains before it connects. Performing for approval costs more than it gives. Being too much gets mistaken for being cold. Carrying everyone else's problems eventually gets heavy. Small circles hold more weight than big ones. And underneath it all, a filter is quietly deciding who's worth the energy. None of this has to be permanent, and it isn't a life sentence of isolation. A few small shifts help more than people expect. Find 1 or 2 people you don't have to edit yourself around, even if it's just one honest conversation a month. Let connection be about quality instead of frequency, instead of forcing yourself back into constant contact out of guilt. And if you're the fixer in every relationship you have, try showing up once without offering advice, just presence, and see who actually stays anyway. So, if you slowly disappeared from group chats, from plans, even from people you love, it's usually not because you stopped caring. It's because caring in a way that felt fake got too heavy to keep carrying. You're not cold. You're not broken. You're just protecting the parts of you that got tired of translating. Which of these 6 hit closest to home for you? Drop the number below. Thousands of people compare notes down there every week. If this explains something you've never had words for, that's what this channel's for. Follow along because we break down patterns like this every week.